The mahogany conference table that I'd bought from a garage sale 15 years ago gleamed under the harsh fluorescent lights. Around it sat my husband Nathan's entire family, their faces twisted with barely concealed triumph. "Let's call this emergency board meeting to order," announced my father-in-law, Richard Caldwell, puffing out his chest importantly. "We're here to discuss the future leadership of Solace Technologies." I sat quietly at the far end of the table, the seat they'd relegated me to, watching this farce unfold. Nathan sat between his parents, avoiding my eyes. "The motion before us," Richard continued, "is to remove Rebecca Caldwell as CEO and install a more qualified candidate." "She's just a housewife who got lucky," burst out my brother-in-law, Marcus. Right place, right time when Nathan's app took off. "But running a tech company? Come on." "I second the motion," added my sister-in-law, Patricia. "No offense, Rebecca, but you don't even have a business degree. You were literally making jewelry on Etsy when Nathan met you." I pulled out my phone and sent a quick text to my assistant. "Now, please. All in favor of removing Rebecca as CEO?" Richard asked, his hand shooting up first. One by one, the hands rose. Nathan's went up last slowly, but it went up. "Motion carries," Richard announced gleefully. "Now, for the new CEO, I nominate." Everyone's phones buzzed simultaneously. "What the?" Marcus pulled out his phone, his face paling as he read. I watched as they all checked their messages, confusion replacing smugness on their faces. My assistant had sent them the original company registration documents from 15 years ago. The incorporation papers, the patent filings, the founder's name on every single document, Rebecca Lynn. Not Rebecca Caldwell. Not Nathan Caldwell. Rebecca Lynn. "I don't understand," Patricia stammered. "This says the company was founded in 2009. But Nathan and Rebecca only met in 2016. "That's correct," I said calmly, speaking for the first time. "I founded Solace Technologies 7 years before I met your son. Before I married into this family. Before I was, as you put it, just a housewife who got lucky." Richard's face had turned an alarming shade of purple. But Nathan said. "Nathan said what?" I turned to my husband, who was studying the table like it held the secrets of the universe. "That it was his idea? His company? His success?" Silence. "Perhaps," I continued, standing up, "we should discuss what really happened. Since we're having a board meeting and all." I walked to the presentation screen and connected my laptop. The first slide showed a photo of me from 2009, hair in a messy bun, surrounded by computer parts in my studio apartment. 2009. I'm 22, fresh out of MIT with a computer science degree. Yes, Patricia, I have a degree. Just not in business. I'm working 3 jobs to pay off student loans and coding at night. Next slide, patent applications. 2010. I developed the compression algorithm that becomes the foundation of Solace Technologies. The patent is in my name. Only my name. I clicked through slides showing the company's early days. Me at hackathons. Me pitching to investors who laughed at the young Asian woman with big dreams. Me sleeping under my desk because I couldn't afford rent and office space. 2011 through 2015. Bootstrapping. Building. Every line of code in our core product. I wrote it. Every client pitch in those early days. I gave it. Every 20-hour day. I worked it. The room was dead silent now. 2016. A photo appeared of Nathan and me at the tech conference where we met. I meet Nathan at TechCrunch Disrupt. Solace is finally gaining traction. We have actual employees. Real clients. Nathan is charming, supportive. He believes in my vision. Or so I thought. More slides. Our wedding. Nathan joining the company as VP of Marketing. The Caldwell family at company parties, being introduced to investors. What I didn't realize, I said, was that Nathan was slowly rewriting history. To his family, to our friends, even to new employees, he became the founder. I became the supportive wife who helped out sometimes. "That's not," Nathan started. "Let me finish." I cut him off. I let it happen. Why? Because I loved him. Because I was exhausted from years of fighting to be taken seriously as a female founder in tech. Because it was easier to let him be the face while I did the work. "But you don't do the work," Marcus protested. "You're always at home with the kids." I smiled coldly. "You mean the home office where I still write code? The kids I arrange childcare for during my 60-hour work weeks? The home where I take calls with our Tokyo team at 3 a.m. I pulled up another document. This is our Git repository history. For the non-technical family members, this shows who writes our code. Would you like to guess what percentage has my username on it? 73%. Would you like to know Nathan's percentage? 0. I manage the business side. Nathan finally spoke up. You manage your golf schedule, I countered. Our CFO manages the business. Our CMO manages marketing. You have a title and a salary, nothing more. How dare you? Richard started. How dare I? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. How dare you? You attempted to remove me as CEO of my own company. The company I built from nothing. The company that employs all of you. Oh yes, that was the other thing. Over the years, I'd given jobs to Nathan's family. Richard was on the board. Marcus ran a satellite office. Patricia was head of HR. All nepotism hires to keep family peace. But here's the thing about being the actual founder, I continued. I own 67% of this company. Nathan owns 15%. The rest of you? Your shares combined don't even hit 10%. You literally cannot vote me out. Then why did you let us? Patricia looked confused. Because I needed to know, I said quietly. I needed to see if my husband, the father of my children, would stand by me or throw me under the bus for his family's approval. I looked at Nathan. You failed that test spectacularly. Becca, I can explain. No need. I pulled up one more document. This is a buyout offer from Microsoft. $800 million. I've been sitting on it for 6 months, trying to decide. Watching Nathan take credit for my work in every interview started to bother me. But I told myself it was for the family. For the company's stability. 800. Richard's greed overtook his shock. We should definitely discuss. We won't be discussing anything, I interrupted. Because as of this moment, you're all fired. You can't fire us. Marcus jumped up. We're family. You just tried to stage a coup, I pointed out. That's generally grounds for termination. Security is waiting outside to escort you from the building. Nathan. Patricia turned to her brother. Do something. Nathan looked at me, and for the first time in years, I saw real fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing his job or status, but fear of losing me. Becca, please. Let's talk about this privately. We'll talk, I agreed. Through lawyers. I want a divorce. The room erupted. Richard threatened lawsuits. Marcus threatened exposure. Patricia just cried. But I was done. 15 years of my life I'd given to this company. 7 years of marriage where I'd slowly disappeared, becoming Nathan's wife, instead of Rebecca Lynn, tech innovator. Mrs. Caldwell, my assistant, David, appeared at the door with security. Should I have them escorted out? It's Ms. Lynn, I corrected. And yes, please. As security herded out my in-laws, Nathan lingered. The kids will be fine, I said. They'll have a mother who doesn't hide her accomplishments to protect male egos. That's worth more than an intact marriage built on lies. I never meant for it to go this far, he said quietly. At first, it was just easier to let people assume. And then you started believing your own lies, I finished. You actually started thinking you built this. That you deserved the credit. I love you, he said. You love the idea of me, I corrected. The supportive wife who makes you look good. But you don't even know me. Did you know I'm keynoting at 3 conferences next month? That I just got invited to join the National Science Board? Of course not. Because Rebecca, the CEO, doesn't fit your narrative. He left without another word. The divorce was messy but quick. Nathan tried to claim he deserved half the company as marital property. My lawyer laughed and showed the judge and corporation documents predating our marriage by 7 years. Nathan got his 15% and a generous settlement. I got my freedom. The buyout offer from Microsoft? I turned it down. Instead, I took Solace Technologies public. Opening day, we hit a $2 billion valuation. My 67% stake made me one of the wealthiest self-made women in tech. The Caldwell family tried to sue for wrongful termination. They lost. They tried to smear me in the press. Tech journalists who'd been following my work for years laughed at the idea that I was just a housewife who got lucky. Rebecca Lynn is one of the most brilliant engineers of her generation, one article stated. The fact that she's been hiding in plain sight, letting her husband take credit, says more about sexism in tech than it does about her capabilities. Nathan tried to launch his own startup with his buyout money. It failed within 6 months. Turns out, charm and confidence don't write code or build products. 6 months after the divorce, I was at a Women in Tech conference when a young founder approached me. Ms. Lynn, I just wanted to say thank you. Your story gave me courage to stop letting my co-founder minimize my contributions. What happened? I asked. I fired him, she grinned, and got our biggest client the next day. Turns out, they'd always thought I was the talent anyway. Good for you, I said, meaning it. That night, in my new apartment overlooking the bay, I video called my kids. They were with Nathan for the weekend, but we talked every night. Mom, Dad says you stole the company from him, my daughter Emma said. She was 12 and too smart for her own good. What do you think? I asked. I think Dad couldn't steal something that was already yours, she said. Plus, I Googled it. Your name is on everything from before you even met Dad. When did you get so wise? When I realized I was turning invisible too, she said quietly. Every time I did well in math, people said I got Dad's brains. Even though you're the one with the MIT degree. You're not invisible to me, I said. I know. That's why I'm going to be like you. The real you. Not the pretend housewife version. That version wasn't pretend, I corrected gently. I am a wife and mother. I'm just also a CEO and inventor. Women can be multiple things. Yeah, Emma grinned. We can be everything. 2 years later, Solace Technologies hit a $5 billion valuation. I was on the cover of Forbes, Fortune, and Wired in the same month. The headlines all mentioned that I was a single mother, but they led with my innovations, my leadership, my vision. The Caldwell family meeting had been meant to diminish me, to put me in my place. Instead, it freed me. No more hiding. No more letting others take credit. No more shrinking myself to fit someone else's narrative. Richard still sends Nathan angry emails about the family fortune I stole. Marcus works at a Best Buy. Patricia became a life coach, ironically specializing in finding your authentic self. And Nathan? He remarried last year. A young woman who thinks he's a tech visionary down on his luck. I wanted to warn her, but some lessons you have to learn yourself. My phone buzzed. A text from my assistant about another acquisition offer, this time from Google. I smiled and texted back. Schedule a meeting. And David, make sure the conference room has better chairs than that old mahogany table. We're not a garage startup anymore. Though sometimes I miss those days. Just me, my code, and a dream. Before I learned that sometimes the biggest threat to your success isn't market competition or technical challenges. Sometimes it's the people who claim to love you while plotting your downfall around your own conference table. But every empire faces coup attempts. The strong ones survive by remembering who really holds the power. And in my company, built with my code, my vision, and my 15-hour days, that would always be me. The housewife who got lucky? No, the founder who got smart.